One sec. Hi. Hello. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have Mr. Battle Brother here in Skype with me. In TeamSpeak with me. Hallo.
And Twitch.tv, ja. Das
Ah,
ist
so geil.
geil, ja. So, Battle Brother is in TeamSpeak. Wow. Wow. Weird. We discussed Skype, but he's there, okay. Did
Can
you
you come
find...
on Skype or? Oh, right. How the hell can we invite you?
I can.
Ah, okay. Let's invite him.
Okay, I will invite him. Does he want to use the webcam, yes or no?
I don't know. Do you want to use your webcam?
It's fine without, so...
You can show off your rainbow pouch.
Your rainbow pouch. Oh, lovely.
Oh, Jesus. The whole day I had to grin when I thought about the rainbow pouch at work. I'm like, Jesus Christ, rainbow pouch.
Seriously? Wow.
Hilarious.
Okay. Well, I can invite him.
Rainbow pouch.
James Vren. Adding to the call.
He's inviting you right now.
Why are you watching porn on the television again?
It's not porn, it's Jackie Brown. It's a very iconic movie. I think it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, actually.
Actually, my mom is watching downstairs. Actually, she will going to watch it later. The Four Fist, actually on RTL 7. You have to check it out. It's actually a film, Terence Hill and Bud Spencer or something. Actually, there's old movies from the 70s, begin 80s. Oh my god, if you see that filming quality, you're thinking, oh my god, you're going back in time, but they're so funny. But they're dead now. Yep.
Hello.
Hello!
It wouldn't show the thing properly. It was just like chat window, but no join call or anything. So I had to cancel Skype and go back in again.
Okay. But how are you doing today?
Oh,
fine. I've been playing some Anno 1800, given that they fixed some of the bugs with the campaign, so I could actually continue.
Wow. So do you
Only
like that
took
game?
them. Yeah, it's fun. It only took them like 3 months to fix the bugs, though.
Oh yeah, only 3 months.
And they're just things like stuff that you need to click on for a quest not spawning and that kind of thing. It's really stupid.
Mark, stop watching TV.
Yeah.
I know there's a scene coming that he's just randomly having sex with her. I used to have this movie on tape.
You know that we are a mature gaming channel. Oh, cat, shut it. I have to get my cat beard back. Oh my god, why are you meowing? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ronny, stop showing your pussy. Does your cat actually like that? He looks like he just want to jump away.
So, no, it's there.
He starts watching himself.
Your video is quite jumpy. It literally just went cat and then 2 frames and then it jumped straight into the window.
Yeah, that's because I'm too cheap to actually buy a webcam, so that's the trade-off.
At least I have my professional Logitech cam.
Well, I will do that because tomorrow evening my holiday starts and I will actually going hopefully to buy a webcam.
Don't tell me it's probably cheaper for you to drive into Germany and buy it and then come back again, right?
Why are you spoiling it? Why are you saying that? I'm living close to
it's the same thing as food. You don't know that in Clogland electronics are really expensive, so.
Yep.
And a good courier is even more expensive. and you can't send anything through post now because they steal everything or
True.
break it. Both.
Yep, they will do a combination of both, by the way. So yeah, I will go actually to Germany to actually buy my webcam.
Is there anything else electronics you need while you're there?
Actually, I need a new replacement for my Google Home because one Google Home, I won't look at someone. It's someone with
Don't
a
forget
tail.
to buy the flat cable.
Stupid
Finally
cat.
get the flat cable, Ronnie.
Well, actually,
the flat cable you never bought when we were in Germany.
Yeah, I will do that. The only downside is my cat actually broke my Google Home because he was thinking it is a toy, and my cat was meowing, and my Google Home was actually responding to it.
They record everything anyway, so
yeah, well,
not too bad. Don't have it.
Oh well. I
Yeah,
mean, it's only like 20 euros. Well, it's only like 20 euros, so hey, it's not that expensive at all.
Well, the whole Google Home.
Yep.
What is it? The mini one.
The mini, yeah. Those are good enough for me, and they work.
A mini. So, if do you have any decent topics? I have one topic.
I also have one topic.
I just read it tonight.
Well, thanks to hardware.info, I actually got that topic because I was actually looking for topics, and I was thinking, okay, that tech is boring to me. Why do I
much news anyway?
No, why would I want to talk about an Android smartwatch if I don't own an Android device? Because I have a more superior watch on my wrist, actually. So, stop watching television.
Sorry. I know the sex scene is coming.
Yep. Oh well. So yeah, that's actually. But we can start about your topic, and I also have something new, which I was thinking. Well, since I don't have much topics anyway, maybe we can look up on the internet while we're having the live stream.
Maybe you don't want that on in the background when we're trying to broadcast this. It'll look like you're trying to advertise porn or something.
It is already stopped.
The only thing that we. Yeah.
That's awesome. You can see it in the background. All right, I switch it off. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, maybe we can do some tech deals. Actually, it was an idea of me. Just that we look up during the live stream what kind of deals we have in our country, game related or tech related, which I actually found a few, which I think is a quite good. What the fuck? Oh my! The cat is on the toilet again. Oh my god! My cat lost the toilet. He's actually going into the toilet, sitting in the toilet pot, and actually sleeping there. And that's quite weird. My cat is weird.
Weird spot to sleep, and not very hygienic anyway.
No, but my cat is stupid.
A minute ago, he washed himself in the window.
Well, actually, then he came from outside anyway, so he wasn't in the toilet yet.
Weird cat.
Yep. So yeah, maybe we can look up during this good tech or game deals. We, of course, from the Netherlands, and Mr. James from the lovely UK. So maybe, well, you can start your topic, Mr. Mark. What topic do you have?
Yeah, I actually noticed that. I'm not sure if I read it correctly, but it looks like all the big game publishers and companies like Nintendo and Sony, Microsoft, they're gonna publish what your winning chances are with loot boxes.
Okay.
From 2020 onwards. Maybe I can get the article as well and then post it.
Yeah. Well,
it's pretty big news since there was so much attention for loot boxes.
Yeah, there was actually.
Let me see.
Yeah, so but the UK allowed them to still exist and not be termed gambling, which is ridiculous. I don't know how they managed to work that one out, but I think some money changed hands.
Yeah, probably did. Oh yeah, it's coming from the American business organization ESA, in which they're all united. So they're gonna apply this rule on themselves from 2020, probably because otherwise they will be forced to do something about it. And they're gonna publish what your winning chances are. So with every game, they're gonna do that.
Yeah, but in Europe we have PEGI, don't we? Which is a different one.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know if the
American one doesn't have jurisdiction over here, does it?
No.
No.
Not sure if it cascades down to PEGI as well.
They're separate organisations, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
So
I assume in Europe it would be feasible that they will do it, but that's not saying anything about Europe. But
yeah.
it is a bit of a thing that they are going to do that, and
We'll put it
like I
this
said,
way: America's one country with one legislation set,
yeah,
Yep.
whereas Europe is many countries with many sets of legislation. So
yeah. But
it's not
Peggy is
quite
like,
as simple.
I think Peggy is like European as well. It's like
Yes.
the EU, like they set the base rule, and it's up to the countries if they want to make it more strict. It works a lot like that
True.
in Europe with a lot of organizations.
Oh, okay.
No, true, it works. Not that everyone looking at to Peggy anyway, because most of the time, actually, Peggy is overrated. Because they say
Yeah,
it's 16, and then I'm watching the movie, and I'm thinking, okay, this is 16. There is no porn in it, no real violence. So why it's 16 then? Because they showed a picture or from a dildo. Because that's it. That's why it is 16. So I think it's quite
wow.
overrated, in my opinion. But that's what I saw.
+3. That is what it would have been.
Yes.
3 plus.
So I was actually thinking, why in hell? But okay.
Yeah, it's a bit overrated. Yeah, they always overrated with these
But can you link
with these
the article?
ratings.
Because I've
this is
heard
a
about
Dutch one. This is the Dutch one. Let me find an English one.
Well, my browser can instantly translate it to English, so because my computer is superior.
Let's not do
in many ways.
that.
Well, Chrome's got a translate button anyway, so
True.
don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That is the good part about Google.
Usually it doesn't translate really well.
No,
Well-
it's an approximation, but anyway.
Pretty
Well, it's
crappy.
actually getting better.
But yeah, that was my news. So please continue while I find the article.
Okay. Well, I was actually watching hardware.info today because I look up the website for good deals and tech things. And I was seeing actually a video about LG releasing a 5K display, which is like 4,000 euros cheaper than the most expensive 6K version. Which actually has like 5K resolution for a price of 1,400 euros. And it's only exclusively for Apple. And I was thinking, okay, Apple and LG are working together again, which is quite fun. And I'm actually going to the Apple Store tomorrow to see that screen in person if I can. Because the screen looks damn good, accordingly to hardware.info. But hardware.info is also a little bit disappointed. Because it wasn't that perfect as Apple normally is. So I'm actually also quite a little bit offended. It's actually disappointed. So
It's
yeah,
5K, right?
5K resolution.
5K, okay. And it's made by LG for Apple or something?
Yep. And I was thinking,
Alright.
well, that is quite funny actually.
Well, LG makes decent screens, but
Well, actually, the LG screens are in the current Mac Pros, so hey. I will give you the article from hardware.info. Well, it's actually not really an article. They actually have like a.
oh, you're really glitching, Ronny.
Wait, my audio? On my end, it looks fine. I'm transmitting just fine.
Well, you're really
That
glitching.
doesn't sound just fine to me.
Yeah, it sounds like you put your hand in front of your mouth.
Okay. Well, actually, I linked the article, by the way, from hardware.info, and I will check out my microphone while it's doing that.
Your microphone is always making weird noises. I don't know why. Ronny, you really need to buy a webcam. Stop being cheapskate.
Okay.
Oh, it actually says translate into Dutch, but it's already in Dutch. That's interesting.
Okay, resetted my microphone.
LG Ultrafine 5K.
Is it any better?
Alright, so they're also working on an Apple 6K monitor?
Yeah, which is from
Interesting.
Apple itself. Which is actually quite interesting. that
I
they actually,
clicked freaking translate and it didn't want to translate, and then it went back to Dutch again. What the heck?
So, it's good for you reading Dutch.
I don't have no
Actually,
need to
I
read
will
Dutch
go
right
to
now.
the desktop.
Why not?
Just
If you-
surplus the requirements.
Well, actually, I have to be honest. I mean, it is a good-looking display. According to hardware.info, it's looking a little bit too plastic. They're not used to that from Apple. But then I'm thinking, wait a second, it's not an Apple product. It's exclusively for Apple, but it's not an
And
Apple
it
product.
comes with a stand that doesn't cost $1,000.
Yay!
So I'm actually saying that
It
this.
actually looks like every other LG monitor because
Yeah,
LG
but there are some
does make
differences.
monitors
I
like
hope
that.
that the plastic on the outside surround is not shiny because that would look shit.
Well, the
No,
only
I
thing
don't
is,
think so.
it only has Thunderbolt. So there are no other connections but Thunderbolt. It only works with a Mac. Well, because it also works with Windows PC, but Windows can't recognize the screen because it has no buttons on the screen itself. So the screen will turn on when you connect it. And if your computer goes off, the screen will go off. So, yeah, that's quite funny actually. So it has no buttons at all. It has a built-in webcam as far as I know. So,
Yeah, you can see one at the top in the middle.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually thinking, well, that's actually pretty Apple. I mean, Apple is like one cable, you connect it, and you don't have to push any buttons or to press any buttons.
So maybe they finally made a product that's
Well, actually, in the
actually
Apple Store,
worth
you
the
will.
price that you pay for it, and there's
Yeah.
no Apple logo on it, so it's not overpriced with about 300 euros.
No, but it's 1,400 euros, which I think, okay, 1,400 euros. That's the price that you will have to pay right now for a 5K display. And that's it. I mean, if you want to have a 5K display, you have to pay the high price for it.
But then if you have a 5K display, if there's no other material than 4K, what will the 5K display do?
Well, I think you can use it like for Photoshop or whatever. Because most
Right.
people that will buy that screen will already have an Apple product anyway.
Yeah, if you're doing a lot of editing of very high resolution pictures, it
Right.
probably
Okay.
helps.
So it is for a
But
very
it's only
specific
one-
audience.
It's only 1K more than
Yep.
4K, so how much percentage increase in resolution is that? And is that tiny percentage actually worth
No,
the extra spend on
no-
the monitor? Not really.
That
not
is
really
always
in
a
my
good
opinion. But I think the only thing that's actually worth it is that's only Thunderbolt. So you need one cable to connect it to your MacBook, and even your MacBook will even get charged with that same Thunderbolt cable. It will actually also send like the 5K display. So yeah, that's quite fun. You need one cable, and you don't need to turn on the display because it will turn on automatically when you turn on your MacBook or your Mac Pro or whatever, or your trash can, whatever you want. So yeah, I think it will be quite cool.
Does it have a power button at all? It must have a power
No.
button or something.
No, that screen has no power button at all. Because macOS actually is designed to work with those screens. So
It
actually,
better work
when
straight
Apple,
out of the box without going off signal, otherwise you're going to have a problem, won't you?
no, Apple will automatically recognize the screen. It will say, hey, oh, this is the LG screen, and it will automatically turn it on. So the screen and the MacBooks and the Apple product will communicate with each other. So.
It says here in the spec that the building quality is not up to the high price.
No, that's true.
Well, we're used to that from Apple.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the other thing why I think it is like that is because it's not an original Apple product. It has no Apple logo on it.
No, that's
Uh,
true.
so
Uniformity of our test sample is disappointing. That's
Yep.
kind of irritating for 1,400 euros.
Yep.
Yep.
It should be freaking perfect for 1,400 euros.
Yeah, you should expect something for that huge amount of price.
True. So yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. It's a nice monitor. It is from LG because you see the LG logo. So I'm not actually expecting too much build quality because it's still
Although
LG.
at least it's not ISO prices, because you could add another 1,000 onto the top of that, really.
Mm.
Yep.
But then it's not claiming to be a super perfect professional monitor.
No, that's not what it claims. So actually, I think it's quite funny. Quite a good-looking display. If you have an Apple product and you need to expand your work screens or whatever, you need to expand it, and you want to have a screen with no buttons, with only one cable, which you might maybe be able to connect to your Thunderbolt dock.
Or you
If-
just want a bigger screen and your only
yeah. Well, the
thing
fact
is
is,
a laptop, and you want to avoid having laptop neck. That's quite
yep,
a good idea.
because I was today actually at a company just to finish off their Apple products, and they only work with Apple, and they say the only thing we work with Apple not because they are great, but they are so simple to use. People can just pick up their MacBook, plug it in. They will actually plug it in with one cable, and that's it. It will charge, and it will charge all the devices. Even the mouse will work, and the displays will turn on instantly. So for them, this display, they were actually going to upgrade to this display because it has only one cable. And I think that's the real deal with Apple. Only one cable, you connect it, and you're set up and good to go. So yeah, that's I think the good power of Apple, the simplifying.
I don't know how just getting rid of one cable is that much of a boon, but
well, I think if you are like a video editor and you are going,
no,
like,
it is because
off
if
the offer,
if
you're
you've
going
got a 2019 MacBook Pro, then you've already got a billion cables because you've already got a billion dongles, right?
Yep. So I think they actually have desks from the automated desks where everything is already connected. So when you are actually at your desk, you only open your MacBook, and it will only one cable from there on. Which is actually for them because they have to go out of the office quite some time, quite a while, and actually quite a lot. And then actually plugging it in, plugging it out with one cable is better than only 5 cables or whatever. Which is actually that's the power of Apple, in my opinion. It's overpriced though, but that's the power.
Yeah,
Because
usually my verdict is it's overpriced. It's Apple, so I would never buy it. But for Apple people, might work.
Yep.
It's
Actually,
still cheaper than
yeah.
the monitor they're releasing for the new
That's true.
MacBook, for the
That's
new
true.
Mac Pro, which is
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
mean,
No.
you can buy 1.4 stands for that for the price of this monitor, so I'd given the
Yep.
option, I'd take the monitor over the super overpriced thing.
You can still try to sell it to people if they want to buy it. I mean,
I
it's
think
still Apple, so people
I
will
think
go
a lot
crazy
of
for
people
Apple
will
stuff.
actually buy it because it's an Apple product, and they know it's simple to use. I've never experienced anything that's simple to use on my Windows laptop, because if I have to connect a mouse, I have to plug in a stupid thing for my Bluetooth, because that stupid mouse doesn't want to use work with my Bluetooth built into my laptop. It doesn't work, so I have to use a fucking dongle or anything else. I have to connect more cables to my laptop in order to actually get something working, like a webcam or whatever. And Apple is very easy to use, but hey, that's also the target. They want to have easy to use products, and that's why this display comes in. And not everyone wants simplified. So yeah.
But then with a Windows laptop, you have less cable, you have more cables, but you pay about 300% less. So
Yeah, true. But actually, I was looking last week into a new MacBook.
right.
Because my old MacBook is dying.
So what kind of MacBook are you looking for? Not a MacBook Pro one.
No, I'm actually looking just for like simple stuff. I'm actually going for like a MacBook Air.
Right.
Or I will go actually for an older style MacBook, the MacBook version from 2012, because that's actually recommended by Louis Rossmann. He said, if you want to buy a MacBook, which is his video is actually quite good. He said, okay, if you want to buy a MacBook, you have to buy an older MacBook instead of the newer ones, because they're easier to repair. So I will actually go for a MacBook from 2012.
Yeah, and it still actually has ports on it.
Yeah, which has port and which has upgradability, which is actually a good thing for me, because I want to use it for video production anyway. So.
Right. What are the prices for the MacBook Air from 2012?
If you want to use it for video production, why don't you just get one of the new Ryzen 2s instead? Because that will absolutely annihilate anything that from 2012.
Well, the only thing is that Apple doesn't have any Ryzen MacBooks. And the fact is, the only thing I want to use a MacBook is only because of Final Cut Pro. Because I love to work in Final Cut Pro. I love to program. Yeah. And the other one is if I make a easy video, I can also use iMovie. I say just, okay, drop the video in and render. It will render it for me without actually much editing. And Final Cut Pro is just a lovely program. I use it on my Mac.
Or you could just use something like Vegas.
Well, Sony Vegas. Well, I tried it, but
I've never tried it. My friend said it was alright, but he preferred Premiere Pro at the time.
Actually, on my Windows computer, I used the Pro version of DaVinci Resolve. It's actually pretty good video editing software.
Oh yeah.
But
a lot of people switch to that because of some instability with Premiere and it just crashing and stuff.
Actually, I never liked Premiere because you have to buy it in a subscription, otherwise you have to pay a lot of money. And I was thinking, well, DaVinci is half the price. That's a good option value. So I bought a license. I didn't crack it. I just went to their store and I bought it. Online, I even got the disc at home. I have a full license to that program because it's actually pretty good. But the other part is I also have a license for Final Cut Pro, so I will use both.
Yeah, I'd probably say DaVinci Resolve is from the amount of pros that are using that and not Final Cut or Premiere.
Well,
and they're defecting from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve.
Well, actually, I have to say that Final Cut Pro is not a hard program to learn. Anyway, it's quite simple if you know how to work with it. I mean, I can work with Final Cut Pro and I love it. But there are other friends of mine who can't work with Final Cut Pro and they think it's too tough. So, and they're actually using iMovie, and iMovie isn't bad at all. But it's like Windows Movie Maker, but then for the Apple
variant. So. Same thing really.
Windows Movie Maker, wow. Does that still exist?
Well, actually,
I don't know.
Well, actually, if you are very basic into video editing and you want to upload something to YouTube, then I think Windows Movie Maker to start with is actually quite good. Just to start with, like the first 2 videos which we did with No Such Gaming Friends back in the day, we also used...
It's not included in Windows 10 because I'm searching for it.
Nope, it's not longer included, but it was in Windows 7 and then I was...
Yeah, it was in Windows 7.
The last time I used that was probably Windows XP.
I do have Windows Media Player, apparently.
Well, I didn't use it in a decade or whatever.
I didn't even know I had it because I never use it anymore. But I always used to have it. Windows Media Player, yeah, it's here. Funny.
Wow. Windows Media Player.
Yeah, it was decent. You could burn CDs, rip and burn CDs from it. So
I'm using VLC for such a long time now. I never really used
VLC. Yeah, I only use that for my porn. So
yeah, that's the reason why I actually use a Mac for video editing, and I love Final Cut Pro. It's just an awesome program, and that's the good part. Apple actually designed Final Cut Pro around the Mac product, so it's actually working perfectly with Macs. So that's the reason why it's seamlessly.
I would side with James, like now that you have to use Risen, but it would be interesting to see if Risen now it's so good that people will start shifting to work with computers with Risen.
It depends on what your professional workflow is.
Right.
It works better with certain specific programs and slightly worse with other ones.
All right. So it's very target specific then.
Yeah, if you look at the Gamers Nexus videos that they did on it, benchmarking against loads of different programs, that'll probably give you a better idea because there's a lot of stats flying around. It's only when you see them next to each other you go, oh, okay, if I wanted to do that, then this would be better, or if I wanted to do this, then that would be better.
Yep.
Like not how much time it would save you, but then something that would save you even more time on that is probably 3 times the cost and happens to be on Team Blue. But anyway.
Well, it actually depends on your professional workload, and that's actually a good a good point to actually switch over to another topic. Which I didn't actually make. So yeah. So if you have a professional workload, you have to decide which process is working for you. If you like Intel, you can work with Intel. If you want AMD, you can work with AMD. That actually depends on your type of workload. And occasionally, some workloads actually Intel is better, and on the other hand, Risen is better. So you have to choose which is working for you. So you have to look at benchmarks. And sometimes you actually have to gamble. I mean, if you are a startup company and you need a server, I would actually say, well, if you want to save money, just go with AMD. I mean, it's cheaper.
The Epic servers are pretty good now.
Yeah, but if you want start basic with not a lot of money and you don't want to spend a lot because you're starting business, starting professional, then just go with AMD. I mean, I did in the beginning when I was starting my current computer business with my current server. I actually started with an AMD Athlon. And that's how I started. And that AMD Athlon server is still working as of today. It's quite slow, but it's still working.
I think that was pretty high end back in the day, these Athlon thingies.
No, it's now only a file server, so it doesn't do anything anymore. So it's only like switching files on and off, whatever. It's not really doing anything. But later I switched to Intel because they had more horsepower. And it became finally cheap. Yeah, I actually have a Xeon computer for the TeamSpeak. Actually, it's a 2 Xeon server. It's an HP Powerland server. And then the second one is my web server. The other one is my music server, which actually houses a lot of music in high quality. And one server is actually my video server, which I actually made with Plesk video serving. So the
You
other
mean
one is
Plex?
yeah, Plex actually, yeah. So
Yeah.
and which is actually quite good. And I mean, if you have like 16 terabyte of movies on a single server and you're rendering it over the network, then a good server is actually worth it.
But is
But
that 1080p or 4K stuff now?
it's 1080p and 4K because it can do both. But I'm not allowed to install any more servers because the sound dampening is not longer actually damping more servers than it already has. So my mom's actually complaining. She said, I want my closet back. I want my built-in closet back. Move your fucking stuff. Get out of the house. Because she's actually quite annoyed by all the servers.
Well, your mom is right. At some point, you should move out of the house.
Yeah, but also providing us money.
You do have your own job now, but the thing is, trying to rent property over there is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I said to myself in 2020, if I don't have a home by then by social housing companies, then I'll actually go private lease, so private renting companies actually.
If you can even find a house, I mean, it's not expensive, but it's just nothing available.
True, and I want to go to big city. I just have to explore my options.
Big city. Big city. You're so pretty.
So yeah, I actually want to go near to the. But my other option, actually, if I don't find a house even on the private market, I'm actually thinking about to actually move to Germany. Even just across the border, actually.
Deutschland!
Because actually the housing in Germany isn't that expensive.
Deutschland
So I think actually.
But what's the taxes and pay like compared to Netherlands?
Cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper.
Just one word.
Everything's cheaper in Germany.
Didn't one of you say the rules over there kept driving you insane?
They do. They have certain rules which are quite stupid. But I'm actually thinking to move to Cologne, actually.
Life in Germany is not that expensive, actually. It's cheaper than in the Netherlands.
Depends on your job. If you have a good job, you can actually live in Germany. If you don't have a job, then you're actually fucked. Just to be clear, then you're fucked in Germany. Because actually only Berlin, only certain states like Cologne, or actually North Rhine-Westphalia, actually supports like no working allowance. So if you have no job,
it's not as good as in the Netherlands.
No, it's not as good. So that's why it's good to have a Dutch job, so you actually get security.
But still, stuff like taxing and gasoline, it's all cheaper in Germany than here.
And just also the public transport is cheap.
Yeah.
Public
Those things are all cheaper.
Yeah. The only downside is if you are going to Cologne or anything in Germany, you will see that in the Netherlands it's quite colored. The houses are looking modern. In Germany it's all shit. If you go to...
It's all grey.
If you're going to Cologne, you will see grey everywhere.
Yeah, it's all grey. They don't really care about the color of the houses.
It's
all grey.
Well, it's just like concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Mostly is actually. But actually, Cologne is also...
efficient from Deutschland, yeah.
Yep. Cologne is also called Little Turkey and Little Moroccan because there are a lot of Turkish and Moroccans living there.
There's a lot of Turkish living there.
Well, actually, they did that in the 70s. They actually took a lot of Turkish people over to Germany to actually work and live there. So yeah.
Don't you want to marry a beautiful Turkish girl?
No.
Well, I'm quite serious. Actually, the women are sometimes really, really beautiful. So.
Okay. But do we have any more topics before we're actually going off the topic list? Actually,
I just saw some funny. I just saw a mouse that Cooler Master is bringing to the market. It's just a gaming mouse. It's called the MM710, and it looks a little bit like a bunch of bees are living in there.
That's for
this is like a honeycomb.
54
is it the one that's hollowed out to be super lightweight?
Yeah. 4 grams. I don't know why you want a super lightweight gaming mouse because usually
I reckon also all your sweat and guns from your hands will go into the mouse.
They said they have a coating,
inside.
but I mean it's still dripping on the coating, so still have to clean it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
it's going to be a nightmare. In a year, it'll look absolutely foul.
There it is.
I actually have it. I will put it on screen. So yeah, it's actually it looks pretty nice for a mouse.
Well,
Okay.
it looks okay as an okay gaming mouse, but then I
Yeah,
mean,
but
my
you're
Logitech that I have now is already pretty light, and I'm still
54
missing my
grams
old
is
G7.
ridiculous.
yeah, but then it's so light. You have that honeycomb bullshit. So you have your hands. Your hands are mostly filthy and fatty because they will actually release a lot of fat and sweat. So you will
I
get
bet
all that.
all the thing will leave like an imprint on your hand as well.
No, it
I,
says your fingers leave an imprint on the honeycomb. I was reading the review of a guy who used one, and he says it leaves an imprint, so it's actually pretty ugly. Only thing I can imagine, because your hand can get a bit sweaty, because there's a honeycomb, the air flows through it, so it might be that your hand
Air will
actually
only
keeps it a bit
flow
cooler.
through it if it's got a thing blowing air through it. Because your
Well,
hand will be over
yeah,
top of it, blocking the
yes, I know,
holes.
but if there's a damp, moisty, how do you say that? If it's damp coming off your hand, then at least it can vaporize out of the mouse. If I just throw in my
Well, it won't
my
because your
my
hand will be
physics.
blocking most of the vents. So
No, I don't think so. I think it's even better, but it's just a theory. People should test it.
nah,
No.
I think
I'm
you
the
have
I'm the
actually.
scientific guy here. Look, I give myself a thumbs up.
very
Nah, I
good.
think you haven't thought it through enough.
Well,
Well,
actually,
I
I
don't know.
think
Maybe you should try it out. Let's see how it works. Maybe it is better. Maybe it's not.
it is quite funny actually.
I
But
don't like uni-handed mice anyway, and not comfortable really.
I need a heavy one. Otherwise, gaming is not very comfortable.
and
This
I
one
was
is also very light.
Just get a wireless mouse; they're really heavy.
no.
Yeah. This one is semi-wireless, but still really light.
Well, it's still pretty light actually, but do I want to buy it? No, because I'm
No.
actually pretty happy with my mouse, which actually got replacement parts. I actually received them last week from Logitech, and now my mouse is working perfectly fine again. Because my sensor was broken, so that's why my mouse didn't react anymore. But now it's working again, thanks to Logitech, thanks to their replacement parts, which didn't cost me anything. Now my mouse is working, even my scroll wheel is working again, yay!
Was that in warranty or outside of warranty?
Out warranty, but I said, well, I like this mouse so much, it feels good in my hand, it has the right size, right weight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, because I was complaining about battery drainage, and they said, yeah, your sensors are not right anymore, so, that's why they actually sent me over a sensor, a new scroll wheel, actually the internal mechanism, and a new circuit board.
But even if you pay Logitech for it, they seem to have a lot of spare parts anyway.
So
That's how I repaired
I'm
my
actually
keyboard as well.
quite happy with Logitech, and I'm quite happy with my mouse. So it's
Yeah.
working. So,
Good.
yep. And my other topic, which was actually my last topic, which I actually saw on the Hardware Info website as well, a Huawei Mate 30 Pro with a 2 times 40 megapixel camera. Why in hell do you want 2 times 40 megapixel rear camera? What's the point
What
of
you
that?
mean?
2 times 40.
Yeah. I'll actually give you the link.
What, two sensors that each are
Yeah.
40 megapixels?
Yep, that's what they say, and I'm actually quite. Why?
Is that even visible for the human eye anymore? If it's so much
Not
megapixels?
Not that size screen, it isn't.
No, on a small screen, it's even makes.
And
Yeah,
the sensor's still smaller than a
40
1-inch
yeah,
type
40
anyway,
megapixels.
so the
Yeah, so I saw
the
it, and
ISO low will be even worse than
and
it.
I was thinking,
And
seriously, what's the purpose of it? Is the purpose making professional videos or photos with a phone?
No, it's just a numbers game. It's like, oh, I've got this, I've got
Yeah,
this.
I was
Like,
thinking the
really?
same thing. I was actually thinking that the megapixel race was actually done, but apparently not.
Yeah, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. So
It doesn't make any sense for me because I'm happy with my megapixel phone and with my other phones.
I would rather see that Huawei makes a phone that actually has a working Android version and not the crappy one since Trump shut them down. So.
Yep, that's true. Because Huawei and Android, no way, they are not the best friends or not a good combination anyway.
I never had a Huawei phone. Does any one of you own a Huawei phone? Is it
Yes,
good?
my little sister, she has the Huawei P30.
All right. Is it okay or?
Actually, I was looking at the camera and I was actually making pictures of it and actually made a video from Nerds and More. Actually, I recorded it with her phone, and I had to say the video quality. I actually recorded it in 4K. Just a very small video about my e-bike, and it worked actually pretty well. I was thinking, okay, the image quality, I have it on my computer and I will upload it later.
Yeah, the Mate Pro and whatever it is, P30 is supposed to be quite good for photography, but then there's the whole thing about them being spy phones and shit. Turn me right off.
The
Like,
Chinese government.
yeah, do I really want them like spying over me whilst I'm doing everything? And yeah, not really.
You can't trust them. I read something about tourists who had to hand in their phone when they visited a certain area in China, and then when they got them back, they tampered with their phone, and one even still had spyware on the phone that they used to read out the whole phone. And of course, he brought it back to another country, and then they analyzed it, and they just put spyware on your phone while you go there. You just put it on your phone, and then they remove it apparently when you come back.
So they violate all your privacy.
Yeah, of course, but they're
steal the shit that's on your phone, and so yeah, I'd just be like, oh, well, I'm not visiting this area then. Fuck you, you can't have my phone.
Yeah, but
I would just leave that area and just go no.
Yeah, but since it's a dictatorship, basically, you cannot trust them. So
no,
they will do anything to look into your stuff.
They just have a massive sense of paranoia, don't they?
Yeah, of course, but they fear their own people. Look at Hong Kong.
Well, it's because they oppress their own people.
Yeah.
If they had a better human rights record, they wouldn't have quite so much to be paranoid about.
Nope. And in Hong Kong, people are used to democracy, so yeah, they protest. So
should have stayed with England rather than handing it over to them, really.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. But apparently they leased it and they didn't own it or buy it or whatever, so they had to give it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's another discussion.
That's another discussion, definitely. And I was actually looking into another topic, actually. But I think let's go to like the tech deals and game deals. So look on the internet which game or tech is actually in discount and actually is a good discount. So actually we can discuss about it.
Right. I actually have to walk away for a moment because I have to close my curtains.
Okay. You close your curtains then.
Everything is still wide open, so it will attract bugs. Be right back.
Yep.
And I'm here butt naked, as you know.
I know. So James, so you can look up any topics or any games or tech that you think, well, that's a quite good price now, because it's going down in price in the UK. Because you are living in the UK, so I can't decide for the UK. But
yeah,
I can
trying to look. Well, usually Rock Paper Shotgun has a summary of the best deals, but the last one they did was 2 weeks ago, so that'll be out of date now.
No, just or any game related things. It's actually a topic that I was thinking, well, that's good for this type of live streams. Because we don't have always topics which we all like, because we only discuss the topics if we actually like them. So yeah, otherwise.
I'll have a look at my preferred
by the way,
retailer
I've
of
speed up
electronic parts in the UK then.
I actually synchronized my audio and my webcam together. Yay!
That helps.
Actually, I forgot to turn on hardware acceleration on my computer. So that's the reason why it didn't work properly.
Oh, what? Through the graphics card?
Yep. Since my GPU is not doing anything right now, so why not?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, with my current setup and with my temporary iPhone webcam and my phone microphone, I cannot push that through to Shadow, so that's quite sad. But I will actually go this Saturday or Sunday. I will go to Germany and actually buy a webcam. And next week I will be online, but only late in the evening, so we can do live streams or video because I have holiday and I have to do like a child village, which I do every year.
Oh, cool. What you mean, like a sort of summer camp thing?
Yeah, summer camp thing that children can actually play with wood and do a lot of fun things. So that's for me next
You,
week.
what? You let children play with your wood?
Oh my god, he's starting
Oh,
again.
don't make it
Don't do
worse.
that.
It
Oh
has
my
to be.
god.
I just put on my headphones, and the first thing I hear,
Yeah.
my God, Ronnie. And then
Yeah.
after your restraining order,
He said
Oh,
play
yeah.
with wood. He
Jesus.
meant woodwork, not his wood in his trousers, you muppet.
I don't
Yes.
know. He has a restraining order, so you
Fuck.
can never trust him. Never let
Even-
him within 200 miles around your children because.
Oh my god. Even on a
What-
serious channel, we can't.
What graphics card were you thinking of getting anyway? And you're probably not going to get it when you go to Germany, are you? So
Maybe I have to look into it. When I want, actually, I'm thinking, just because it's still good enough, a 1080, Nvidia Gen 1080, because they are now heavily in discount, so I might go for that. A
You can
1080.
still have my old 570, or what is it, 460?
Well, as long as it's 4 gigabytes of memory, then it's all fine. Or more.
It has 6.
Well, that's still good enough in my opinion.
And I think it was was it in the area of the T80s? The T80s came about a year after mine, but I think it's quite comparable. It's a good card. I mean, I never had a lot of issues with just gaming or stuff because it had so much memory. It's fine. It can run
Yeah, so
everything pretty smoothly.
I'm still looking into it. So I think I will go for a 1080. If I go for a brand new card, I will actually go for 1080 Ti or 1080 because I think, in my opinion, it's still a good card, and I don't need anything more. Even when the newer cards are maybe better,
Or
expensive.
but
yeah, I can't find that for sale in the UK on my supplier, but you probably could find one second hand on eBay or something. But
yeah, so maybe I will look into it. So yeah, I actually found my first deal, which I think is pretty good. If you want to go to like a 4K television, in the Dutch web shops from hardware.info, actually the price list, which you can actually find a TV 4K from Philips. That's actually, I won't link you the article because that's actually pretty pointless because there's nothing really in there. But actually, this television,
Ooh, Philips.
yeah, which actually for 989 euros is actually pretty damn good if you want to go for a 50-inch 4K Ultra HD 4K and HDR. If you want to go into that scene of like the 4K television, actually I think you are in a pretty good deal. But still, other shops are actually asking more than it's actually worth.
How much is it?
It's 989 euros.
Right. Oh, it's not too expensive.
No, it has a 50-inch Ultra 4K, HDR, Smart TV, and Android TV. Which
But
I'm
Philips,
thinking.
Philips TVs only got better after Philips got like rid of the TV making business and is only into a joint venture with a Chinese company. After that,
Yeah.
they turned out to be quite good actually.
And the specifications are good enough if you want to go for like 4K. And you don't want to spend like too much. Maybe this is a good option. I'm not really into Philips anymore because most of my TVs are Sony. But I don't own a 4K television anyway since I don't need it. Because the Dutch television is not even in 4K anyway. And in my opinion, there's not really much 4K content, in my opinion at least.
unless you use Netflix or something 4K.
Don't say that word. I have my own video server, so I don't need Netflix. And I actually have a lot of 4K content. But even then, 4K is starting to get normal. But still, a lot of households still use 1080p. Because 1080p is still actually pretty good and still pretty sharp compared to like the old CRTs. So, I think it's still good. And Mark, did you find anything which is actually a pretty good deal?
Well, I found another variation of my own fan that I have on my ceiling. And that one is actually 80 euros, but
Okay.
it's not really a good deal. I'm just looking into something, but cannot really find anything.
Oh yeah, by the way, you said that your lamp housing from your ventilator was 14 centimeter or millimeter?
Yeah, about 14 centimeters in.
Okay, they had the 14
diameter.
point. Yeah, the diameter they had was 14.4. So I don't know if that
Alright.
will fit on you. So,
I have no clue.
well, I can even buy it. It's not that expensive. So,
Yeah, you can always try.
yeah. What's it? Okay,
Oh,
that's...
oh. James is sending something, and I get a virus warning.
All I did was put a link from what Hi-Fi.
No, it was just coincidental.
Okay, wondering stuff, blah, 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 blah.
The
Okay.
last 2 TVs I bought off their best TVs list have been really good.
All right. LG. Yeah, LG is pretty good with his OLED TV. So
I probably wouldn't get OLED though because of the still thing with burning and longevity.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really got into it. My TV is
Okay.
just a little bit older.
So is that Philips one that you put in is the same one as the number 2 on their list then? No, it can't be.
No, it can't be, but it's actually related. Because actually, Philips actually released a lot of like in range for like 400 euros, 500 euros, 600 and 1000 euros.
Well, whenever they
yeah.
test a Philips TV nowadays, their flat screens used to be crappy when they were owning it themselves, and now they got rid of it. Actually, the Chinese company is doing a pretty good job. I mean, they're not top of the line, but they're somewhere in the middle.
I
And
think
usually
it's
they come out of the test pretty well.
well that second
compared to price.
television, that Philips 50-inch television, is not that bad. The only thing is with Philips these days, with their smart TV, their
So
smart
the user
TV.
interface is a bit crap.
It is.
The remote's annoying and it's difficult to set up.
Actually, a good friend of mine, actually a client of mine, actually bought a Philips TV, and I had to set it up. But their Android interface is so annoying because you turn on the television. The only thing they want to do is watch television. They only want to use to set up their setup box that actually in the closet, because they have like a setup, but there's only one setup box with a smart card, and then only coaxial cables going around the house. But the fact is, to set it up, you have to first set up your whole Android TV, which most people don't want, and I don't even want to use it. So I always recommend buy a Chromecast or something else. Don't use their built-in shit because it's crap. But
Well,
yeah.
because it's too slow.
Oh my god, it's terrible. I mean, even the setup. I mean, you have to go to a
Well,
fucking
LG
menu.
has WebOS. I don't know if that's...
Well, that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat needs attention again. What the hell is up with that cat?
To be honest, I mean, my TV
This list
has
is a bit weird though, because it goes from like 400 quid and then number 3 is 3.5 grand
Yeah.
nearly.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Strange.
What's
I
up,
prefer to
Kilo?
look at the list per kind of budget range. It tends to make more sense than this. Sorry, you're going to say something.
I will get my cat because it's annoying me. Where
I forgot. Yeah,
You're annoying me. Why
Panasonic,
do you
it's
make
still in
noise?
there. Panasonic doesn't still exist? What the fuck?
Yeah, number 7.
Interesting.
Oh my god, the cats want me to go downstairs to give him food, but I don't want to.
I think there's not really, if you buy one of the big brands, there's not really a really bad TV anymore. Most of the
No.
panels are really good, and they come from they usually come from 1 or 2 factories anyway. These panels, because there are only a few big panel producers in the world. So
So mostly it's like LG display.
yeah, LG display, and what was the other one? There were 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, LG.
display.
I think it was also Sharp.
Oh yeah, Sharp, something like that. Some weird brand that you wouldn't expect. And I think there are 2 big ones and a handful of smaller ones, but the 2 big ones are just.
Well,
popping out the
Samsung doesn't
displays
make its
everywhere.
own panels then.
No, Samsung buys them at LG.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, that's easy, huh? You can just
Yeah,
specify.
well, the interface on my Samsung's good. It could be a bit faster for the apps and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I paid about 400 for it, so
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
at the
500,
time
I
to
think.
be much faster than that, I would have had to pay more than double or something with like dual processors or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay, but how many times are you gonna use it? To be honest, the apps on my TV, the last time I used
I use the
year
YouTube a
ago.
lot. because
Yeah?
watching YouTube on a 40-inch TV is pretty good.
It is actually, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV.
And Netflix and iPlayer and most of the catch-up stuff I watch through the TV because it's like I am watching TV, so I'd rather watch it
Yeah.
in my comfy chair rather than at my computer.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you need a new version of Corel Painter Pro 2019 Ultimate, it will only cost you like €50 on bol.com. Which is actually, if you are into like a paint shop and you want to use Corel, which I used in the past, but now not anymore because I think it's trash, since they were bought over by another company.
Oh,
yeah,
you can buy a Chromebook for €200.
Yeah, but Chromebooks are still pretty good. Ooh, a coffee machine. Oh,
Chromebook is not that bad. Only, yeah.
It doesn't have much horsepower, and it's depending on you having an internet connection the whole time.
actually,
Exactly.
my little
I have
sister has a
Chromebook,
Chromebook.
but it's okay. It's not really fast, but
No.
it's not really slow either. But yeah, there's not much you can do with it. It's like a glorified phone, basically,
Yep.
with a keyboard and yeah. I always connect the mouse.
Okay,
I mean, it's
and
good for surfing, and you can certainly use the apps of Google, Google Docs and stuff. That works pretty well, but it's not a laptop. It's not that expensive, I have to admit that, because €200 for a proper laptop.
That's not expensive.
And there's not a lot of space inside, so I think mine only has 16 gigs or something. So you really need to have a card, and then still it's annoying.
Hey, and if you want to buy an iPhone, Apple iPhone XS Max, 512GB, it will be 10% cheaper than last week. It will still cost you €1,500. Oh, 1,149 euros, actually, to be exact.
No thanks.
No,
Still
That is
too expensive.
overpriced.
Too expensive. No, I won't even want to buy that. I mean, that's actually too expensive for me, and no.
Well, what was it? The XR is supposed to be quite good. The sort of lower mid-range one.
True. Nope, I don't use Apple AirPlay, so that's actually also way too expensive. So yeah, actually, there are not many deals where I think they're actually 100%
No.
cool. I mean, 120GB SSD, no way in hell I'm going to buy 120GB.
It's the middle of the summer. If you want good deals, you have to wait until the end of August when people coming back from holiday, and then they start, cutting prices again because they want to sell stuff. And now nobody's gonna buy anything because they're all outside of the country.
True. But still, there were some pretty good deals, which I was thinking, okay, that's pretty good. So Mark, did you find anything else which you want to share with the rest of the world?
No, only just that stupid Chromebook.
Only just that stupid Chromebook.
People complain. Oh, it's Chrome, so it doesn't work with Windows. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
No.
because it's not a Windows machine.
Yeah, but I can imagine people.
It's basically
think that.
Android in a laptop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a real laptop. So you think, oh yeah, it looks like Windows. It has the Chrome browser. A lot of people don't even know the difference between Chrome and Google. They think Google is Chrome, or they don't even understand.
No.
I noticed that with work as well.
And I think this is also a pretty good solution if you want to have outdoor Wi-Fi. I think for 69 euros and 60 cents, I think it's actually a pretty good deal if you are living here. It's a TP-Link EAP outdoor access point.
Wow, it's so white. It's almost invisible on my screen.
Yeah, that's the little downside of their new website from hardware.info.
It's so white. It's like, where is it? Oh, there.
And the
What do you do?
specification.
Just screw it into the wall outside, drill a hole through, and then use PoE?
Yeah. And I think if you, it's a Wi-Fi 5 standard, okay, which is quite good. But if you need a decent outside Wi-Fi, and you need it better than what you have with your modem from your ISP or your indoor modem, actually I think this is actually a pretty good deal for getting good Wi-Fi outside. It has 2 external antennas, which is always good. The speeds, the total VLAN speed is 1200 megabits a second, which is quite good. It has 2.45 gigahertz.
Is it waterproof?
Yeah, it should be. I,
2.45 gigahertz. 2.45 gigahertz. That's not bad. 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 2.45 gigahert
Well, it
I'm
was.
looking now again at the website of
it has.
Coolblue.
It's IP65. So.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I have this second-hand stuff, and then you can buy washing machines that are second-hand, which is a bit odd. And then you can buy headphones with second-hand.
Seriously.
Yeah, with
Somebody else
someone's
yeah,
ear
30 years.
grime inside of it. Delicious.
There's also a GoPro. No, it's a over-ear headphone, but still
Yeah,
weird.
but still, it's gonna have like people's dust and hair in it, isn't it?
Wow.
Or will they
should
clean them
definitely
out
clean
or
it, but
something?
yeah.
Or they refurb them or something?
I have a lot of washing machines here. Jesus Christ. And they're still 600-700 euros. It's expensive. Here, an Apple iPhone XR, 855 euros.
Okay.
And a GoPro for 305 euros. GoPro Hero 7.
No, don't get that. Get the DJI one because it has software that doesn't crash. Whereas GoPro, the people don't say it because they don't want to get demonetized by GoPro is that their software is bad and they always crash and freeze.
Yep, I know that from my own experience. So I actually sold my GoPro, which I actually got the battery today. And I was thinking I will use my GoPro to make videos, to make my bike live streams. But the software crashed it in 10 minutes like 50 times. Even on a good Android phone it did it. So I was thinking, okay, you go in the trash. And I actually sold it on eBay today for like 25% more than I paid for it.
There's an AOC curved screen for 160 euros, 27-inch.
Well,
Oh, that's not too expensive.
What you actually want instead of that one is this DJI one I'm going to link because it's probably better and they make amazing drones. So they know what they're doing with their cameras.
DJI, yeah.
Osmo Action.
Weren't you also looking into a microphone, Ronny?
Yeah.
Weren't you talking about the Yeti phone? The Yeti microphone?
Yep, I actually got it, but my computer didn't recognize it. Because it was also like an open box model. My computer was actually crashing on it when I connected the cable, it crashed, and when I used my own cable, it also crashed. So I think the Blue Yeti was broken. So yeah.
With your computer, always everything crashes. It's weird.
Well, it was quite funny actually when it happened, so yes. And I was thinking,
It's 140 euros on.
So yeah, and I was thinking, okay, I will never buy anything from electronics from that store again, because apparently if you buy an open box model from MediaMarkt, they actually get crappy products, I guess. You will think if
or someone dropped it and then returned it or whatever happened.
Well, you will think that they will test it out before they even sell it. But they didn't.
They won't.
No.
You were trying to be cheapskate again.
No, but if they actually tell me that it is a good product, it's not as
It is a good product if you get a working sample, which is actually most of the time. But
if you get it new in box, it was not dropped by some kind of idiot who brings it back.
No, but I was thinking I can maybe save a buck because I think Yeti microphones, in my opinion, are overpriced in any way. I was thinking, okay, for live streaming to starting with it, I think it's actually quite good. But it isn't. It's crap. So I won't recommend it. It's too expensive. But only if you can get it cheap in the discount for like under 100 euros, even far under 100 euros. It would be fine.
140 euros for a microphone. It seems like heavily overpriced.
Of course it is. Because the streamers are using it, and because streamers are using...
You're actually better off with a Rode NT, whatever it is, NT USB or something, probably.
Well, and I'm thinking, if you're going, all those microphones are actually so expensive because streamers are using it. So they're actually getting money from it. So
yeah, probably. And then they rank up the price a bit.
Yeah, because streamers will buy it anyway. If one streamer says it's good, then another one will say, okay, I will try it. Then two streamers say it's good, and then the third and the fourth and the fifth streamer, oh, it's also good, and then they will rank up the price, and other people say it's good. That's actually how it goes.
Just yell at my camera. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. I think the camera on this Logitech is actually pretty good.
The camera on this
Or
Logitech
the camera and the
microphone.
microphone of the Logitech.
I was thinking of that. Well, yeah, you're looking pretty good actually on camera. A little bit a little bit
Thank
too
you.
light.
Looking pretty good in camera.
Well, except for James, because we can't see James, because
I
James
can't see him. He looks really bad. He looks so bad. He's invisible.
Yep. Even my cam looks
only
good.
because last time when I used my webcam, it just kept crashing Skype, so I was like, I can't be bothered now.
But I want to see you.
Tough.
So I can use a picture from your Facebook profile and actually set it there.
Make it move around like a little round picture when he smiles and then it bounces in the screen.
I will make a GIF out of it. I will make a GIF.
A GIF.
A GIF, whatever. I've got a GIF because I like it. And I will make it actually that you're eating something. You're constantly eating. So.
Such a bastard.
Like a banana or something.
To be fair, you have a lot of eating videos on eating photos on your Facebook anyway. So
I have like one.
Yeah, well, which is more than enough for me to actually make a GIF out of it. So I might do that.
Fine, whatever.
Do I even have you on Facebook?
You have me, of course. And James, I don't know if you have James.
That's all I need.
La la la.
Do I have you on Facebook? I'm not sure. James Wren. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of James Wrens here, but it's not you. Yeah, I do have you on Facebook.
Yep.
Probably.
Shall I invite all the other James Wrens as well? There's even a black guy called James Wren.
Oh, no!
There's only one James Wren you need to know, and that's me.
He's a fan club of Lord James Wren.
What the hell?
What the hell is that? It's a fan club. Fan club of who?
Well, a fan club of our good friend Mr. James in the UK.
Painted confetti over his face. What the hell? You have a fan club.
Ah.
How do you do that?
Well, James, you have a fan club. Come on. James in the UK has a fan club.
And I get a page for organ building, so...
Orgasm build? No.
No, organ. An organ, you know?
I see.
What, you mean like a church organ?
Yeah, organ building.
You can really see there tinkling that, like 3 levels of keyboards and pipes. And
right, so James Wren is apparently a very... name is very common, because I get a James Wren beside the other guys. Official professional.
Why don't you just check Ronnie's friends list and then search for it there, because it will be...
No. There's a fan club, and there's a doctor called James Wren in Indianapolis. Now, I have you as my friend here because you were on top of my page.
Yep.
So we are already friends.
Yay, we're friends. Yay.
No. I sent a friend request, but you never answered it. That's it.
What, on Facebook?
Yeah.
On Facebook.
It says, friendship request has been sent.
Alright, let's have a look.
It does say we have...
yeah, now it has.
Yay! You can become friends!
I wasn't actually logged in, so...
Oh.
Now I am.
Yay! Yay! We're friends!
Yay!
Angry bird lady.
When did I send that request? Like months ago.
I wouldn't be
surprised. I don't know why it didn't pop up. I only just...
I think you sent a friend request like a few years ago.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, we just never did anything about it.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter since you talk to each other anyway. I mean, the whole Facebook is just a bunch of crap.
Our lovely TeamSpeak and Skype and yeah. So, but do we have any more topics? Otherwise this stream will go nowhere. Well, I don't have any more topics actually. Actually, the good topics are already discussed.
Getting pretty tired.
Yeah, me too. I have to go to work tomorrow evening.
I have to get up early tomorrow.
And then at 10 o'clock, or actually 9 o'clock, my holiday will start. 2 weeks of holiday, and I will say it loud, because Mark doesn't have a holiday longer than a week. I have holiday.
Well, I have
requested
a second week, but it has been waitlisted, so...
Yay!
That's basically no then, isn't it?
I don't know. I did request for next year May when we're planning with the family to go to Disneyland in Paris. I did request time off. Then I got back. It
Yes.
says something like, this moment is not possible. And then like the boss of the lady that always does it at my location gave me an email that says, "Oh, approved." So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this against you. If it's not approved, I'm gonna say, "Hey, look, he approved it." Uh-huh.
Yep, then it should be fine, yeah.
I should try to get off on with Christmas. Let's see what happens.
But I will be off this year with Christmas because I refuse to work. Because I think that
Yeah.
all the stupid people should stop calling and just
Yeah.
enjoy their Christmas, even when you don't believe in Jesus Christ.
I
Because,
don't look forward to it because it seems it's very busy around Christmas, and I don't like to work around Christmas.
well, because everyone wants to call about their credit card or because they reached their limit because
Yeah,
they're a bad payer. They have to call you.
yeah, it's really
Yes,
stupid.
why am I
I
in
hate
a
these people.
why am I here in a German store? I'm here with
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
market, and I can't use my credit card.
yeah. It
No,
exactly
sir,
goes
because
like that. Yeah.
yes, sir, you reached your limit because you're a bad payer. You're
No, you constantly have these people who actually have a very low limit set to them because they never pay on time. And so,
yeah.
sir, but your global limit is 500 euros. You can actually not spend any more than 500 euros, and you just spend 700. Yeah, but it's ridiculous. I want to talk to the credit department. And
Well, if you have a limit because you didn't pay and you are going on a Christmas holiday and you're actually going to spend, I mean, wow. I mean, then
yeah,
you're
but
actually
that's what happens. Huh? These people, they get a credit card, and the first thing they do, we have a lot of people lately that go to the casino with a credit card. So the first thing they do is go to the casino and try to spend about 2,000 euros. Nah, they don't even get any further than the ATM in the casino because it will register that you use the ATM there, and it will immediately get blocked because we don't allow gambling with our card.
no. Why are people doing that? I mean,
Well,
if it
they
says
think let's go gambling, so we got the card. So
if it is actually stated in your rules that you can't gamble with American Express, why are people going to do that anyway? I mean, that's stupid.
it says it in the rules, but I know that pretty much everybody has been excluded for taking out money with the ATM inside the casino. So,
Wow.
but anyway, that's a sidetrack.
That's a sidetrack. So we have no topics
I have
anymore.
no more topics.
Then we can say, I guess, bye bye to the live stream.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. It's a good live stream.
Cheers!
Bye. Woo.
Good night! Bye bye!
Bye. Guten
Cheers!
Abend.
Moin
Gehen Sie weg.
moin! Servus Leute!
Tschüss.
Tschüss!